Coming up on today's show, we have breaking news, instant reaction to the Seahawks signing free agent quarterback P.J. Walker. What does his role look like? We'll go over his background, give you analysis, everything you need to know here on today's show. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. Folks, this is why you subscribe to Seahawks Today. When the news broke that P.J. Walker was signing with the Seahawks, we made a short for YouTube, and we put that out on social media. Then me and Big Tex, we scripted a show, built the graphics, got the YouTube copy, all that slammed together so we could bring you this video so we could throw it up as fast as we can. The latest happenings at your Seattle Seahawks all offseason long are right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Help us reach our next milestone of 52.5 thousand subscribers, just over 100 away from reaching that next mark. Stay up to date, lock us in, subscribe now for free, and we'll get started with today's show. Breaking news here on Seahawks Today. P.J. Walker is headed to Seattle, signing with the Seahawks in free agency, which gives him a spot on the 90-man roster. We told you a few days ago how the Seahawks, after the post-June 1 cuts, had a little bit of money freed up. Not a ton, but just a little bit anyway. And they have used that to bring in P.J. Walker to be the number 3 quarterback. The Seahawks only had 2 QBs on the roster with Geno Smith and Sam Howell, and now they get another QB in the building. The news coming from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, tweeting out moments ago. Seahawks GM John Schneider joins the insiders tonight, but first, he has other business. Seattle is signing free agent quarterback P.J. Walker. Sources tell the insiders. Some depth prior to minicamp. More from Schneider tonight on the insiders at 7 p.m. Eastern on the NFL Network. If we have any noteworthy news of sorts that comes from Schneider's segment on NFL Network tonight, we'll follow that later and get you an update from that segment later on. But back to P.J. Walker. Let's tell you about who the Seahawks just signed. He was undrafted in 2017 out of Temple, where he played for Matt Rule, who went on to be the head coach at Baylor and then also in the NFL with the Panthers, now at the University of Nebraska. Then, after he went undrafted, was a bit of a journeyman of sorts, went to the Colts, and has played for a couple other teams, the Panthers, the Bears, the Browns, in his NFL tenure. 21 career games played with 9 starts in his NFL career, and a 5-4 record as a starter. Now, that's all the NFL stuff with P.J. Walker, but the thing that is the most appealing, if you will, with P.J. Walker is the performance that he showed in the XFL in 2020. When the XFL relaunched under Vince McMahon and Oliver Luck, the 2020 version, P.J. Walker was phenomenal. He was by far the best player in that league. He shined, he balled out, and he earned a spot at the Carolina Panthers active roster based on how he played in that 2020 XFL season. It's not a bad signing for Seattle as your number 3 QB option here. Look, he's not replacing Geno Smith or Sam Howell. That is not happening. Those guys are still quite a step up from him. But if the Seahawks were going to have a number 3 quarterback right now, P.J. Walker is, realistically speaking, about as good as you could ask for to be a number 3 QB for this point in time. Let's go back at what he did in the XFL back in 2020. He was the starting quarterback for the Houston Roughnecks. For the love of football, right? He was named to the midseason All-XFL team. He was kind of the de facto MVP of that league. If you recall, the XFL that year got shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And when we talk about him being the best in the league that year, he led the league in passing yards. He led the league in passing touchdowns. And in 5 games played, had a perfect record. 5-0, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, threw for 1,338 passing yards. On that stage, P.J. Walker shined, and he showed his capabilities, what he could do there against professional football talent. So I think P.J. Walker, with that experience there, with seeing that he has played well under a pretty bright stage. The XFL, that 2020 year, got a lot of attention that year. To me, I was impressed. I like P.J. Walker. I'm excited about this for Seattle here. What's your one-word reaction to Seattle signing P.J. Walker Give me your one word. I'll give you my one word in the comments section in just a moment, but want to hear from you guys first. Way in the comments section. Let us know what you think. What is your one-word reaction to the Seahawks signing P.J. Walker? My one-word reaction is can't body. As much as I do like P.J. Walker and the story of him coming from the XFL, the success story that is, to the National Football League and being in this league for the last few seasons now, at the end of the day, there's no reason for the Seahawks to carry 3 quarterbacks on the active roster. When we narrow this thing down to 53, P.J. Walker is going to be out of here. He very well might be on the practice squad, but he sure as hell will not be on the active roster because there's no point when you only have to carry 2, and it's highly unlikely you're going to find yourself in a scenario where you need to carry more than 2 quarterbacks on an active game day roster. Then it just doesn't make sense. Let P.J. Walker be your QB3 for now, and then potentially keep him around on that practice squad and elevate him if something were to happen to Geno Smith or Sam Howell at some point this year. You look at the QB depth chart. Here's how things will stack up for now. Geno is, without question, your QB1. Sam Howell is your QB2. And P.J. Walker in that QB3 role at the moment. And what are the statistics? What are the Seahawks getting from P.J. Walker? Well, the last time we saw him on the football field was not great. He didn't look like the XFL quarterback from 2020, as this past season in 6 games played with the Cleveland Browns, he threw for 1 touchdown, had 5 interceptions, a completion percentage that was less than stellar of 48.6 with 674 yards. His best year of the last 4 of the NFL, you go back to 2022, when he had a completion percentage near 60%, 731 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. The main thing I think you can tell from his NFL experience is that turnovers have been an issue for P.J. Walker in his career to this point. He is an NFL record holder, by the way. In the next-gen stat era, powered by AWS, if you will, you guys know, you've heard all that stuff before. Walker actually holds the record for the longest recorded air completion in the next-gen era history, dating back to 2016. So, I mean, I guess that's pretty cool. Good for him. You know, the record, 67.6 yards, is that record that he set there. So, a very interesting nugget that he does have some NFL history to his name there. We'll go back to P.J. Walker here in just a second, but first, got a deal that we're offering Seahawk fans right now. Father's Day coming around the corner. Go ahead and get something for Dad now. Get him a Seahawks shirt on sale now that says number 1 dad. Your dad, he's the number 1 dad, not just any dad, the number 1 Seahawks dad out there. Get this for him. Might stumble upon some free shipping. You can still get this in time for Father's Day as well. Go see for yourself. Chatsports.com/SeahawksDad to get yours today. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Go to chatsports.com/SeahawksDad to get yours now. All right, 3 things you need to know when it comes to P.J. Walker. If I were to narrow this down for you as far as what he brings to the table. Number 1, extensive game experience, both at the NFL and the XFL level, which is pretty good for a number 3 quarterback on that front. Dual threat capabilities. He can pass, he can run, he's very mobile. In that sense, you're getting a guy that can move around and throw it, can sling it, if you will, on that front. And then the other thing, it's the practice squad insurance QB option. Realistically, if P.J. Walker is going to stay in Seattle long term, it's not going to be on the 53-man active roster. It would be as a practice squad option. But for the Seahawks, if you're looking for that number 3 guy, looking for someone to be on your practice squad, about P.J. Walker, realistically, I think is about as good as you can get. I think that's more than okay for P.J. Walker in that role. How would you grade the signing of the man once known in the XFL as MVPJ? Grade it for me in the comment section. A, B, C, D, or F. What do you think of this signing? I'll give you my grade in a moment, but I want to hear from you guys first. My grade is A. I'm excited about this, and let's see what he can do when it comes to these offseason workouts and mini camp, and when we get to the preseason, I imagine he'll get some significant playing time as well. This is, like I said, as good as you can get for a number 3 potential practice squad QB. I give it an A. Continuing Seahawks coverage each and every day here on the channel, all off-season long. There is no off-season on the Seahawks today. We got you covered. Subscribe now, youtube.com/SeahawksTV.